The Fed tapered. They actually reduced the amount of money they're printing, at least to the public. What I want to talk to you today is something that has just come out right now. They just released this information. And coincidentally, I had just released another video talking about how Mark Faber said that QE will not stop. And I agree with this. So they did taper. I'll get into those details and I'll tell you why it doesn't matter. This article is coming out of CNBC and it's Fed to taper bond buying by $10 billion a month. And specifically, they brought down each of the two components down by $5 billion apiece. Ultimately, very insignificant, but I'll just tell you the details very quickly. The FOMC announced it would lower the long-term Treasury bond purchases to $40 billion and the mortgage-backed securities, aka garbage, to $35 billion per month. So that's a reduction of $5 billion apiece. Ultimately, not significant whatsoever. However, they need to do it in stages. I can totally see where they're going. They don't want to shock the economy. And actually, they didn't really shock the economy too much, it looks like, because the Dow Jones is still doing well. Now, the issue that I want to bring up here is that look at the interest rates historically. They always brought them down slowly whenever they, I should say, let them rise slowly. When they see that the inflation's picking up, they let that interest rate rise. And at some point, the economy starts doing bad again. And what do? They bring those interest rates down dramatically. That's how this works. They make the public seem like they're doing everything okay. And when things get really bad, they just continue back with their old policies. Also, the 10 billion number isn't very significant at all. This shouldn't be a warning indicator to anybody whatsoever. This is business as usual. Those who want to say it's not really don't understand what's happening. This is $75 billion a month being spent. This is not some sort of game that we're playing here. This is tens of billions of dollars being spent every single month, handed off to banks, and we don't even know where it's going still. This is sort of playing games like now we're supposed to think that somehow, well, you know, they're only spending $75 billion a month. At least it's not $85 billion. That's not how this works. And one more thing I want to mention from here. Some guy, Bob Dahl, he's saying that the Fed is finally signifying to the U.S. economy is doing better. 2014, the economy will be a bit stronger, and this is confirmation of that. I have no idea where somebody like this is actually getting this information from. The economy is doing so terrible. It is absolutely in its worst stages right now. I mean, you have 100 million people on some sort of food assistance in the U.S. You have 50 million people on food stamps. You know, they printed $16 trillion in the real bailout and during that audit. And some people, I believe it was the Washington Post, the Washington Times, calculated it being near 30 trillion. So what exactly are we talking about here when we're talking about $75 billion? It's really nothing because we don't ultimately know how much they're really printing. That's what I wanted to get to. And that's what I mean. They're never going to stop this policy of QE and money printing, even if they do stop it temporarily. Let's say they just end QE3, they turn the tap off. They're just going to have to continue it at such a high rate later on. They do the same thing with the interest rate. Look at the Fed funds rate historically. Do not be swayed by what's happened here. This is nothing but a little game they're playing, a temporary change in their policy, but ultimately business as usual. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. And remember, they're heading towards hyperinflation. Do not be a victim.